Good evening and welcome to the December 13th Select Board meeting. I will call this meeting to order and I ask that everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there any public comment? No? All right, excellent. So we will move on to licensing. We have to move in. I'll take a motion to move into licensing. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Over to you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. So we just have one item. Well, it's a big one. I think the interest of the town. We have the licensing renewals for 2023. Just a couple things. Quickly note, one of the things that we've done a lot of over the years is one-day licensing. And as part of the 2022, we are looking to see that Small Axe Farm expands to have an entertainment license. So that means they won't be in front of us all the time. Hopefully that comes together. There are a number of institutions that are not renewing, and we have several that we're still in the process of getting documentation on. And those include, I was just looking at those. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for a second. I just lost track of those.
We have one that is,
That's a lot.
yeah, so we have one that is due to give us a new certificate of good standing. We have about 12 that have outstanding taxes that need to be paid, which the town clerk is here with us, as well as town council, if anyone has any questions on this, but the town clerk has been in conversation with all of those, and they do know that they need to be paid. And then we have a few fire and building inspections that need to be completed, and some things that need to be fixed in some of those. And all of those will be completed by December 31st, 2021.
So can we offer, just for edification, we can vote to renew pending these conditions being satisfied prior to the end of the calendar year, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right.
So all the taxes, all the back taxes.
Yeah,
I
and
noticed there was one business in here that did not have a certificate of good standing, but it didn't seem like they had any plan to get one. I mean, in the one business that didn't have one, they had a plan to get one, and they had a reason why they didn't have one. But there was one in there that didn't, Hokkaido didn't have that certificate.
Yeah, I did have a conversation with that business today.
Suzanne, do you mind coming to the microphone so they can hear you at home?
I did have a conversation with the business today, Hokkaido Restaurant. I spoke with the manager about both that certificate of good standing and also the taxes, and he said that he was going to work on those and bring that into the town prior to, at the deadline. So I explained the situation to him, and I think there was a little bit of confusion as to why he didn't have a certificate of good standing, but he did say he was going to work diligently to give that to the town.
I appreciate your concern. They have been a little more visible to us than we would like, so I think it's important to monitor. Yep. And Merrimack, I know, their pieces are coming together too, but I think they were the other one that haven't finished yet. There's
Yes.
some
Yep.
inspections, I think.
And I will say that the team that's working on licensing, from the town clerk's office to our new lieutenants that are in the fire department, have really paid so much attention to detail and streamlined these processes and found a lot of things that were outstanding. So kudos to them. So we should have a good, clean licenses for fiscal year, calendar year 2022.
So some of these that have significant tax that they've also agreed that they would be paid by the
They
end
will
of the
all
year.
have to pay, other than the one, there is one that is in
I saw
a
that,
tax
yeah.
agreement. Other than that, all of them will have needed to pay. The tax agreement one does have a agreement with the town.
So if those conditions aren't met,
Their license
they
will fail.
not have renewed
Yes.
licenses, but you would be open to working with them to, like, if somebody were to come to you after tonight's meeting and say, can we work out a plan, is that something that could happen?
For the payment plans, yes, not for any of the public
Yeah.
life safety
Okay.
items, but yes,
Right.
for the payment plans,
Got
yes.
it. Okay. And one quick clarification, on page 4 of that document under package store. I think it's probably Macaloons at 531 Chickering Road, but I just wanted to check, make sure I wasn't missing a liquor store. I mean,
You're not on top of it.
On the outstanding taxes?
no, just on the list of renewals on page 4. It's on the PDF, it's page 4. You can check it later, but it's 531 Chickering Road, and I think it's probably Macaloons.
It probably is because we're Chickering Road.
Just based on,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
it. No, but that's what
But
it's
that's
called.
what
That's
they
their
call
name.
it. That's his
McCracken
The
is their name.
Krakens, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their name, yeah.
Got it. Well, the other one said DBA, and that didn't, so. All right, perfect, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
So we don't have to vote these contingent then, right, on payment?
No,
They
you,
just,
you will vote them contingent. So,
Will.
yep. So the motion, will be subject to payment, by the license holders of all outstanding taxes due to the town no later than December 31st, 2021. The certificate of good standing received no later than December 31st, 2021. And fire and building inspection certificates issued no later than December 31st, 2021.
all except the one that's in the tax
Yes.
plan.
Yep. And they have a written contract, so we're good there.
Ready for motion if we're good?
I'll move that the select board acting as licensing commissioners approve and renew the licenses for all of the establishments listed in the assistant town clerk's memorandum dated December 13th, 2021, subject to payment by the license holders of all outstanding taxes due the town no later than December 31st, 2021, certificates of good standing received no later than December 31st, 2021, and fire and building inspection certificates issued no later than December 31st, 2021.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes 5-0, so we're all set. And I think that covers us for licensing. Just need a motion to,
I'll move to close the meeting of the North Andover Licensing Commission.
Second.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
5-0, we're up. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, we're going to move on to new business, and it'll be to ratify the contract with the New England Police Benevolent Association, Local 2A. And I just want to thank our town manager and our assistant town manager for all the hard work that they've done with the union and with the chief to get here. It was certainly, we want nothing but to be equal with our neighboring towns for our police officers that work so hard to keep us safe and keep the streets safe. So we appreciate all your work.
Agreed, and we'll recognize the union president, Bob Barter, is here as well, and he's been key in these negotiations. So thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here, Rob.
Madam Chair, I'm going to recuse myself and step out of the room for this vote.
Is there any discussion or?
Uh, What else can we, is there anything else that we need to bring forward in terms of the agreement?
I can just kind of run through it if you'd like. Okay,
I think
so,
it'd be helpful.
yeah, absolutely. So, the wage adjustment and compensation is the same as all of the other units, 1.5 for 22, 1.5 for 23, and 2% for 24. There's also an accreditation stipend going from $750 to $1,000. And those two are part of a Contract A. Contract B, which is tied to leaving civil service, which is an exciting endeavor that both the union and the administration support, would include the following benefits, and that does need to go before town meeting for ratification. So once that leave is approved at town meeting, the leaving of civil service, the following would go into place. Effective fiscal year 23, we would have new steps, which would be a 10-year step, a 15-year step, a 20-year step, and a 25-year step. We would have a new detail rate compensation that would bring us in line with our surrounding communities. We would have the education incentive pay that matched Quinn. Right now, we actually have two separate buckets of pay. Those for, one for people who were hired before 2009, one for people who are after 2009. This would bring everyone in line at associates 10%, bachelor's 20%, and master's plus at 25%. Again, we would leave civil service. We would have an increased residency requirement mileage, so people would be able to live 15 miles away rather than 10 miles away, and that is in line with our fire union, which they already have. We would be bringing equity as the holiday pay. We had a separate holiday pay rule for people who were hired after 2012, for people who were hired before 2012, and this would now bring everyone in line for that. And that's it.
And the benefits of leaving civil service?
The benefits of leaving civil service is that we're able to select from a much larger group. And so I've done this in other communities. I know Dee's done it in other communities as well. And instead of having one person where you only can interview, if one person you're hiring, you can interview 3, you could see 40, 50 applicants. And you can still have all kinds of preference for people who live in North Andover, people who are veterans, et cetera. But it allows us to really broaden our search, which is exciting.
Sounds great.
And overall, as I understand it, I think you told us, Dee, this brings us really into the median in terms of compensation across the force, which I think is appropriate for a community of our,
Absolutely.
our caliber and our capacity. So I think it's appropriate too, in that sense.
Yeah, I agree on all of those points. It's, our force was being paid, I'd say considerably less, and on details, and on the Quinn bill, and it's my personal belief that in this litigious society, we need our force to be well-educated. By doing that, it hopefully keeps us out of potential lawsuits and situations. And they were removed from the Quinn bill. The new members were removed from the Quinn bill. It was something I voted against many years ago. And unfortunately, you have 2 people working the same job, and one would get more because they came before. And that's just wrong. It doesn't put forth a cohesive, well-working team, which we particularly need, especially these days. So I think it's very good for not only the force but for the town. We need to be treating our, first responders well, and I think it's it's gone on a little bit too long. So, and the details. Other communities paying considerably more in details, and it makes it difficult for us to fill our details. But it's not only that, there is a trend somewhat with some of our younger officers and you can't really criticize it in so many ways, that family time is more important than in prior generations. So it's sometimes difficult to get details filled, and details are important for public safety. So I think it's a good contract, and I think it's not only good for our men and women, but I think it's also good for the town.
I agree.
I think so. It's a well-crafted contract, and I think that it'll be beneficial for our patrolmen to be compensated.
And it's in the medium level. They're not at the top,
Nope.
but they're not at the bottom anymore.
No,
so
but we
it's
brought them up to where they should be.
where
which
they
is
should be.
Important.
I agree.
So is there any other discussion, or?
Appreciative of everybody's hard work.
With that, I'll take a motion.
Yeah, I move that the select board approve the contract between the town and the New England Police Benevolent Association, Local 2A, for the contract term July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2024.
And I will second that. Well,
Great.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Dee, would you
Excellent.
mind? Go ahead and take-
Passes 4-0, and we'll ask Selectman Valencourt to come back in. We'll let him back in.
You really can't hear a thing out
And you were trying.
there. Very silent.
All right, we'll move on to, thank you, our consent items. We're going to accept a donation to the senior center in the amount of $250 from the Newcomers Club of the Andovers, and we are very appreciative of that. And we are also going to accept a grant in the amount of $11,700 from the Department of Environmental Protection for the Food Waste Recycling Program. And based on the letter that we received from the DPW director, this was really due to the food waste recycling program that was an initiative from the Sustainability Committee that they've implemented in various elementary schools and the middle school where the kids are able to, there's different buckets where they can recycle, compost, there's food that they haven't touched that can get recycled and brought back into the community, right?
And they haven't been able to do it since COVID started, so they're looking
Right.
forward to getting back and starting back up.
Yep. So that's awesome, and we really appreciate to the Sustainability Committee for all their hard work on that. So with that, I'll take a motion to accept the consent items.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
That passes 5-0. We will move on to our approval of the open session meeting minutes from November 29th, 2021. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or adjustments to those? No? All right. With that, I'll take a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. That passes 5-0.
Madam Chair, at this time, if you could entertain a motion to recess, and we'll reopen our meeting in the senior center.
Okay, excellent. I will entertain a motion to recess so that we can continue with our tri-board meeting with the school committee and the FinCom down in the senior center.
I'll second.
Okay, motion second, all those in favor?
Aye. See you there.
Supposed to be there at 5:00?
I know. 10 of them.